That's how I roll. There's a little kid. When I say little, I mean a young kid. At the time, he was 13 years old. His name was Isaiah, a small black kid. He's from a southern state. I'm not going to give his last name or where he's from, or everything. But anyway, I was bored about a year ago, so I used my youngest son. I was playing his Xbox, and I was playing Madden. I like football, and so we're playing the Madden thing, and I'm doing it, and I go into one of those rooms. They have like all these different rooms through Microsoft, and you can play on a team and do all this. So I am with the kids that are like younger than my son, and I'm like, oh, nobody needs to know how old I am, and then I'm home during the day this particular month and playing Madden, which I told them I was out looking for work. But anyway, so I'm playing everything, and I go in this one room and we team up, and I don't know who these people are, and this one kid's name was Isaiah. And I just remember that we're playing or whatever, and he was on my team or whatever, and we actually won. And he was all happy, and he was sending me messages and everything. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. And I remember that I was still listening. I still had my headset on when I had walked away, and that these other kids, they were such sore losers and they were. They're kids. I don't care if they were 20 years old. To me, they're kids. And they started laying into this kid because he was a very soft spoken type of kid. He didn't like talk trash like all the other kids did, and that kind of thing. So um, they were making fun, like his game kept stopping and restarting and everything because he had an older system and that was all he could afford at the time, I guess. So I mean, they started calling him names, and all these things. Not that he can't handle himself, and I'm not America's dad here, but they didn't know I was still listening, and I'm watching this kid get just pelted and pounded verbally, and there's no other way to say it. He was being bullied because he won outright, and with my help, obviously. But I let him. I built him up because obviously, I wanted him to feel good. He's a kid, and they were relentless. They were merciless against this kid. Oh, your thing sucks, and it's what is your mommy on welfare or something? She can't afford you a better system, and we have like this powerful stuff, and you don't have shit, and you know, uh, and that's why you suck so bad. I mean, this kid was pretty much upset. He tried to hold his own, but there's like 5 or 6 of them. They're all ganging up on him. That's very manly of them to do. So I remember that it bothered me because I hate bullies, number one, and the meme machine was born out of necessity. We don't go after people. We side with and we back up and we have your back for people that are bullied online or otherwise. Because, and it's not just that. I'm not on a crusade or some kind of mission or whatever. I was that age. I was bullied when I was little. I was very soft. If you could believe that, yeah, that's even me. I was a soft spoken kid and everything until I couldn't be anymore. But I just felt the need to be able to use my powers, my reach, my voice, if you will, for good rather than bad. And it's not because anyone told me I should or shouldn't, but in any event, that was kind of how I felt about it. So I'm listening to all this stuff, and people say, "Oh, the meme machine's probably going to go after this guy." Yeah, go get him. No, no, no. I didn't say anything to these kids because obviously they're kids. But what I did do is I contacted this kid when we hung up, when we disconnected and everything, and he was pretty upset. And I think he started crying or whatever. That regardless, I knew that he was upset. So I got him to put his mom on the phone, and I let her, his mom's name is Debbie. So I said, "Hi, Debbie. I'm Greg, and I live in Jersey, and da da da." And I said to her, I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to with your son. I know he's upset. I said, is there anything that I can do? These guys were really ganging up on him. It's not fair. She goes, well, I appreciate it. Now remember, I'm a complete stranger at the time. To make a long story short, she told me how this kid actually has MS. He didn't tell anyone that. So obviously he's not going to have the same reaction time. So he's still doing the best that he could. His mom, her husband had died. She just came out and told me all this. She volunteered all this. So she's trying to take care of not only Isaiah, but who's 13, but an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. And she's working like 2 jobs, sometimes three, waitress on the weekends, a regular job, like as a secretary in the week, and something else. I can't remember what it was. Just trying to take care of her own children on her own now. How, single moms have got to be that they should all wear capes. Single dads too, but especially single moms because it can't be easy. I know that it can't be easy. And she raised her kids the right way. And this kid's getting bullied. So I said, I'm going to make a deal with you, Debbie. I said, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to send a new Xbox, the new one, the X. I'm going to send it to you. You don't owe me anything. Just tell people about my show. Deal? She's like, are you serious? I'm like, she goes, well, you don't even know us. I'm like, that doesn't matter. What are you going to do? Screw me over over a few $100? So what? So I got her address. I sent the Xbox. I said, on the condition that you tell them that it's from you, because she couldn't afford to get him anything but like a used one, like a, you know, refurbished or whatever. That was the best that she's doing the best that she could. And these guys are ganging up on him, not knowing the backstory. Not the kids always do it. And they're probably not bad kids, but I'm sure their parents taught them better than that, but they weren't showing it that day. And I got pissed off because I was that kid once, that little kid Isaiah. So yeah, I understood without him even having to say anything. So I made sure he didn't know about it. I didn't want him to be embarrassed. I didn't want her name to be mentioned. I can't show you a picture. They sent me a picture of him. Obviously, he's underage. I can't show the picture. But the point is that Isaiah got a new Xbox, and I wanted him to say that, her to say, Debbie, that it was from her. And so I guess she did. And she said, oh, thank you so much. And he's happy and he's playing in it. Now, remember, I did this before I even knew he had him, as I had no idea. It didn't matter. I wanted to do something nice for someone. And no, they're not cheap. And I'm not some rich guy or something like that. I just felt compelled to do it. So I did. Well, she said thank you and all that. And, it was wonderful. And I get an email, fast forwarding till now, I got an email about a week and a half ago from Debbie. And I was like, "Oh yeah, how are you doing? How's everything going and everything? How's Isaiah doing? Yeah." This is what she told me. You ready for this? And this is no bullshit. Not only is he doing okay, but he's going online. He's kicking these kids' asses with his new because he's got a powerful today. He's got the better game. He's got the fast controls and everything. His condition has stabilized and everything, and which makes my heart melt. You know what I mean? Because he seemed like he was just. When would I ever meet a 13-year-old kid from like I think he was in either Alabama or Tennessee. I don't remember which southern state it was, but our paths crossed for a reason. She said to me, and she wrote, and I'm reading right off the email. She said, Mr. Joseph, which is very formal about it. She goes, I couldn't in good conscience not tell my son Isaiah that you were the one that paid for the Xbox. I'm sorry so much time went by. I had to wait until I didn't have any extra money, it says, and I had to wait until I got my tax refund. I did, and I wanted to send you the money back, but I let him know that it was you that did it because I know you told me not to, but I felt that right was right, and you're a very kind man for doing that. Thank you, Deborah, and her last name is on there. So I refused to take the money back. So what she did instead was she saw the Mean Machine 973. She knows that it's a struggle when you're a small radio station and you're getting squeezed by the big guys and everything. She knows occasionally we will have the little runner if you like the show, help us grow, and there's like our Cash App or our Venmo, the Mean Machine 973, the little thingy on there. And she actually sent the exact amount that she thought I paid for and sent it to that account. I couldn't stop her. So how nice is that? And she said she caught her son. She thought he was in there playing his video games or something like that. He's in there watching my show at like 12:30 at night instead of like doing his homework. Or actually, he should have been sleeping by then. Which, by the way, Isaiah, your mom's gonna kick both of our asses or anything. But rock on, little man. That's awesome. You're watching me at like midnight, man. You should be going to school the next day. You're gonna get me in trouble. But anyway, I was just so taken back by that. That here he is. He's watching me. She goes, I've caught him where I thought that the kids were playing a game in the other room. It got really quiet. I opened the door. It's him, his other brother, and another kid from school. They don't have the game on. They're sitting Indian style on the floor watching YouTube, watching my Father's Day special that I did last year. Can you believe that? These kids are like 12, 13, and 14 years old. So that made me feel good to say the least. He's doing okay. And his mom is absolutely a rock star. Look at what she did. You know what I mean? She tried to send me, I wouldn't take her, whatever. She knew that it was the right thing in her mind that she had to tell her son. He would have never have known. She just thought it was like a dude that she met online or whatever. And the fact that she told me that she spoke to him and she said, Isaiah is not only you're a big fan of the Mean Machine, he's a big fan of you. And yeah, it chokes me up a little bit because you don't hear that every day. There's hope for humanity when you get stuff like that. He's not only a Mean Machine fan, but he's a fan of Greg. And what could be better than this kid who was getting bullied that I just tried to help out to do something nice. So you know what I did with that money? The money that he got, I'm going to show you something. I don't know if you can see this. It's the NT1. It's one of the best home mics that you can have. Rode makes it. That was what I did with the money that she gave me back because I needed another mic. I had a bunch of dynamic mics that are very good, but I didn't have a condenser mic. So that's what I did with the money that she sent over. And going forward from this day on, or since I got that the other day, this microphone that I only use when I'm live on the air. I will only use it when I'm on the air. I have other ones when I do like little simulcasts or when I'm doing voiceovers and that kind of thing. But whenever I'm live, that's my bread and butter. This actual one that I'm on right now is the one that Isaiah's mom paid for. Going forward, this setup that I have is called the Deborah, and this microphone will always be known as the Isaiah. Always. When we get back, we're going to have Kim Kelly and a hell of a conversation coming up. So stay tuned. And I hope you like that because it's not only true, you got to do stuff that's good for the soul. He's doing okay. You live forever now, baby. You're meme machine material.